and he's now got the call to join the Red Bull team. But he'll actually be driving this weekend in his junior outfit, AlphaTauri, and in one of the slowest cars on the grid. Ricciardo this week said he's not expecting much, of course, and has learned a lot. He seemed more subdued and more introspective.
Falling out of a bit of love with it was also, took a hit on my confidence. And then, of course, if you're competing, in a sport where you're trying to be the best at something, best in the world at something, it's obviously you need full confidence, full belief, all of it. And when that's...
Joining me is Michael Masi, who's the Formula One race director from 2019 to 2021. And he watched Ricciardo close up. Michael Masi, it's great to talk to you again. Daniel Ricciardo says, look, he's come back to the team that he used to drive for, Red Bull. They welcomed him and he felt a love again, got in the car and thought, I can do it. Can he? What went wrong with him before and can he now come back?
Hey Andrew, thanks for having me, and I think you've touched on the point and seeing that piece that Daniel just did. He did fall out of love. He got tired. It was noticeable for 6 months of last year that he was just drained. I think the first 6 months of this year, being welcomed back into the Red Bull family that he'd had success with previously, and having the ability to have that reset has given him a new lease on life. I think he's looked as fresh as what he did in his prime.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because in that interview, if you look at the whole thing online, it's fascinating. He's linking love of the game with confidence in the game, with performance in the game, when everyone seems to think it's just about the car, right? Is it just about the car?
No, absolutely not. I think there was an interview earlier this week with Christian Horner, which is the team principal of Red Bull Racing and ultimately Daniel's prime boss. And he said it's 90% confidence, love and appreciation for what it is. And I think we'll see that we've seen with drivers over time that the more confident they are, the first part is they've got to beat their teammate. Daniel's been quite measured in his return this weekend, that he knows that he's in the slowest car on the grid, and just getting back in there, knowing that he's had 6 months to reset himself. Everyone in the field and in the industry knows what the car is and isn't capable of, including being part of the Red Bull family. And I think that was the most important part for Daniel, was being welcomed back into that Red Bull family, being part of it. A seat became available. And as we've seen already with the seat that Daniel's taken from Nick de Vries, that in the world that Formula One is, anything is possible, and who knows what will happen in the future, be it in the short term or moving into next year.
Yeah, so it's clearly after the Red Bull, one of the seats in the Red Bull team. Do you think can make that?
Anything's possible. Obviously, Red Bull does have their two drivers, Max Verstappen, the current world champion, and is leading the world championship, and very likely, on course to win another one this year. Sergio Perez, the second driver there, has had a bit of a tough start, or had a good start and then has fallen into a bit of a lull. But if there isn't something that happens at Red Bull, anything can happen in Formula One very, very quickly. So I think Daniel's seen the opportunity with AlphaTauri, get back on the grid, get in there. First part will be do the best that he possibly can with the car that he's got, and being there is a large part of it. We can all see that trademark smile of his, that he's very much he's back there and having some fun, and I think that's what he's aiming to do for the latter part of this year and helping the team.
Yeah, I think he's been missed. He's a wonderful personality. I think a very good role model, and it's a lovely story of redemption. If you can do it, love to see him come back after the misery he's endured for a couple of years. Michael Masi, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.